From the global resources of ABC News, with Terry Moran in Washington, Martin Bashir and Cynthia McFadden in New York City. This is Nightline, December 21st, 2007.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Terry Moran, and we're going to begin tonight with a look at people getting some incredible deals on new homes. But there's a catch. Would you be comfortable living in a home someone else was forced out of, a home that's been repossessed by the bank? Well, more and more homeowners are being pushed closer to that fate. Foreclosure filings in November were up 68% from the year before. There are a lot of neighborhoods out there right now with a lot of empty houses. And the corridor between San Francisco and Sacramento is among those hit the hardest. John Donovan reports from Stockton, California for our series, Realty Check.
If you ask Cesar Diaz why he does it,
You're welcome.
why he fills up these prospective homebuyers with sweets and good cheer as if the whole thing's a party, and then loads the whole crowd onto a couple of joyfully decorated buses as if they're all going on break,
we're seeing some nice properties.
and then leaves them to see only homes that are on the market because their previous owners could not make the payments, as if the next buyer in has to be getting a bargain. At least that's what everybody's hoping.
Oh, this is a good-sized bedroom.
If you ask Cesar Diaz, who's been in real estate 18 years, why he conjured up Repo home tours 3 months ago, that is Repo as in repossessed by the bank, of course, he will tell you it is not about money or profits or exploiting the misfortunes of others. It's about, he says, saving neighborhoods like these, still thriving communities where the homes are dressed up for Christmas and the ice cream truck rolls through, but where the occasional homeowner got in too deep and lost it all, from the front entranceway through the living room and out to the now neglected pool out back. And all Cesar says he wants, he told me this out by one of those very pools, is to help his city, Stockton, California. Here's his logic.
We have an abundance of properties, and banks have to sell, and we have to provide buyers.
Now, a point about Stockton, a city that was born in the California gold rush, but it had a second, more recent boom, a housing boom, echoing the once soaring San Francisco market that's 60 miles away. A boom until it busted, and what a bust. Stockton has among the highest rates of foreclosures in the nation. And if there's any good news for anyone in that, it would be for people like Elisa and John Hernandez, who were along on this tour feeling pretty certain that at long last they can afford to buy a house, one of these foreclosure jobs. Because, as they told us earlier, at their present home, a rental apartment, until now there was just no way they could have hoped to get into home ownership. But now, well, try these numbers we heard on the tour. This two-story, 2,600 square foot home, its previous owner paid $504,000. The bank that now owns it is asking $286,000. That is the thrill of this tour, seeing how the drop in home prices just might drop a home right into your lap.
This one is very well priced.
It did happen for Daniel and Debbie Noel. They had been living in a one-bedroom rental apartment with their kids, pumping up air mattresses in the living room every night so they could sleep there. Now all four of them, the kids are grown up, were on this tour just to celebrate at this stop how great it is to shop for foreclosures. Because this was the day that Cesar threw them a party. It was their first day in the new house he helped them buy, the first home this couple has ever owned. And once the party moved inside, I chatted with the couple in the backyard about what they paid for a house that sold 2 years ago for $361,000.
We settled on the home for $185. The house is on the market for $179,900.
So people wanted this house.
Oh yeah.
But here's something that was missing today: the slightest hint of sympathy for all of those poor homeowners who used to live in all of these homes. Elisa and John had not thought of it.
We get ourselves in positions, and if we can't get ourselves out, then it's our responsibility to do what we have to do.
Neither had Daniel.
It hasn't crossed my mind. I look an opportunity.
Although Debbie said it has crossed her mind.
If it was us and we were in whoever's shoes that had this house, yeah, I feel for them.
And Cesar, he's thought about it, but
We have foreclosure properties, and we have properties available. The prices are right, and right now people are buying.
Of course, these homes are empty because their previous owners took on mortgages that were too big for them or became too big when their adjustable interest rate mortgages adjusted upward. The assumption has to be that this crop of buyers will not repeat those mistakes. Although Daniel does have a pretty hefty mortgage, no money down. It means he borrowed the whole thing at 7% interest, which he says he can handle.
It's 30-year fixed. It's $1,600 a month.
30-year fixed.
Which is good at 100% financing.
Whereas Alyssa and John, they're not yet committed to a purchase, and they still have a few things to learn.
Adjustable mortgage or fixed mortgage? Fixed rate mortgage.
I personally don't know the difference.
Oh, okay. You really got to know it.
She would be the one to ask that.
Right now, I'd probably do with fixed mortgage. It'd probably be the safest right now.
The other thing is that buying a foreclosed house is not necessarily getting a bargain. It doesn't really matter what the last guy paid for the house. What matters is what the next guy will pay. And no one really knows if prices are finished dropping yet. Buying now takes an optimist, people like Joseph Escove, who was along on the ride looking for investment properties.
When you see a house like the one you saw with the swimming pool for $225, that's going to sell right away, and they'll have multiple offers on it. That's just a bargain.
On one point on this tour, we wandered away from the home on sale and spoke with a neighbor down the block who had seen this whole colorful road show from across his lawn roll into the neighborhood.
Just get it sold. Just get it sold.
It's an answer that could have been scripted by Cesar Diaz. No one likes an empty house on the street, but here in Stockton, there are lots of them, and now they're on the tour. I'm John Donvan for Nightline in Stockton, California.
The Repo bus tour. Thanks to John Donvan for that. When we come back,